Welcome back to the Heart, Mind, Money podcast with our founder, Perla Tamez Casasnovas. Mm-hmm. I am the extractor of her magic, Giselle Mascareñas, the juicer. What do you call me?
The juice extractor.
The juice extractor. I think I'm going to add the juice to it, yes. Because it's true, there's just so much. There's so much to like dive in and dig. You're like a unicorn. I know, I remember I said that to you one time. You're like, I don't know what that means. Well, you're like a rare horse. A very rare horse. Because you are, like, what you've accomplished. And if this is the first time you're here, I want to kind of like, just really quickly, so people know who you are. You are a multimillionaire. You reached millionaire status at 24, correct?
Yes.
Millionaire status at 24. Your first business at 21. Mm-hmm. Your first major like life turning event 6 years after you started your business, correct?
Yes.
That went from massive success of $11 million a year to fighting for your life, literally.
Yeah.
Fighting.
The verge of bankruptcy, losing it all.
Verge of losing it all.
Yeah.
Right? To then climbing your way back up.
And wait. And so losing the sense of the business was not because of bad business decisions, but because we work with state insurance, and they did a legislative change that really kind of chopped off 80% of our revenues. So it was doing the same job, delivering the same job, but 80% less of what we were getting paid in general. And not only that, with certain rules and specifications that would really, really limit the access to care of patients into our therapy clinics, not only at a local level in South Texas, but there was a state situation going on. So in order for me to stay in business, I had to restructure the entire company 14 times to be able to bring it down to a place where it was at the bare minimum. It was making 10 to 15% of what it used to make, and then we had to restructure loans, restructure over 65,000 square foot of leases.
As you were fighting,
I was fighting the state. Mm-hmm. I had lost a baby, and we had to lay off over 90 people at one time. It was terrible. It was catastrophe.
Really, and it's important to put that in a nutshell, because yes, you had immense success, but that is a hardship most people would never ever experience in their life.
And you're not a real entrepreneur until you test yourself through the mud.
That is what an entrepreneur is.
1,000%.
1,000%. And then, found yourself, many different things personally.
Lost in my ego. Caused me to file for divorce with one little situation. Nobody could ever disrespect me because I would go balls to the wall. And,
hardcore high.
Ego. But at that time, on my business, I needed to be
high
there. Ego, high power, mindset, revenge mode. I'm fighting for what I believe. I'm going to fight for the children of Texas. I was in that mode. But my mistake was not being able to make a difference between work and family.
You didn't turn it off when you went home.
That Perla, that nasty Perla, I would leak her to family, and I leaked her into my marriage. Ultimately ended up causing my divorce, and I filed for divorce. And then looking for that love and that crazy passion, went into a relationship where I negotiated all my non-negotiables, and that he was not a bad person. I was a bad person for him, and he was a bad person for me. Yeah. And sometimes you just stay in situations because you're really, really, really trying to make them work. But if you love yourself and you love the person as a person that you're dealing with, you have to part ways for their success and for your success. You've got to cut those ties to be able to spread your wings. And that's what I had to go through. But when I was going through that situation, I was emotionally distraught. I was a mess, and I had to
lost yourself.
And I lost myself until I realized that the one that had to take responsibility, that was me. If I was in such a situation, in such a relationship, was because I caused it. And when that happened, it made the total shift for me to take responsibility and said, I love myself, and I'm going to pick up myself from the floor because I can fix myself. Nobody has the power to fix me but me, because nobody knows the story like I do, right?
Yeah, and that's a beautiful segue to what we're going to talk about right now, because when all of that happened and you went to go seek, okay, wait, who am I? Why am I this person right now? And how do I want to show up for life now? Like, how do I get back to feeling free and peaceful and love? Like, I want to like not only give love, but I want to receive the love that I deserve. But I have to give it to myself first.
Yeah.
So going through all that, plus all the experience you had before the pain, you brought that together to come out of that really dark place to now be in a place, like way better place than you've ever been in your entire life.
Yes.
Financially, in love,
Spiritually,
relationship
wise, physically, mentally.
Yeah, like you're in a really elevated space. Like when we really like talk about the things that like you're building and stuff like that, like you're in a very rare air, and it's because you took everything, you learned from it, you have the coaches, you put in the investment so that you stay at a place that you're going to live like your best, you're going to be your best self for the people around you and yourself.
I live every day like it's the last day. I don't regret anything I did yesterday, and I don't hope for anything to tomorrow, because I do everything I want when I want, period, the end.
And everyone has the opportunity to be right there.
And everybody has the opportunity to be there. It's a mindset. And
it's
I don't
heart set and a mindset.
But I don't live a perfect life. I go through situations and I go through troubles, but it's how I deal with those situations and how I deal with those troubles that make the entire change. And I've been there when I couldn't even get a call from one of my clinics that the AC went off, because I would lose it. I would be super pissed. It would ruin my whole day. Oh my God. And I would be like drowning in a cup of water. Right? So I know what it is.
I don't know that, P. I can't even imagine.
You don't know that, P, but I know what it is to be in that place and to not be able to handle little situations because you blow them out of the water and they really mess up your whole day. Right? But now in this new P, like those things don't get to me. You know, my staff is happy, my family's happy, my husband is king, my ex-husband is happy with my king with my ex. We're a happy family.
Yeah.
And so it's not that things don't happen, because life is always going to happen and life is filled with distractions. It's a matter of you having the eye on the ball and making sure that you control as much as you can control without controlling. You see what I mean? And flowing. That's the goal.
Yeah. And all of that is why you created, because you saw people getting in their own way. Like this is like, and everyone listening, you probably are like, oh my God, I drown in a cup of water sometimes. Oh my God. Like I'm
going to send you guys some floaties.
Right now, actually, because we're going to go into what you created as what we call in the company clarity. It's a program that is based on, you have to go in to heal your heart you could do all these mindset exercises, but if your heart is not healed, the mindset is only going to take you so far, because the fear and the unworthiness is still there.
1,000%, yes.
So I want to ask you, we're going to go through the 8 principles of clarity. Okay. So like the first one is the course, Who Am I? What is that about?
So who are you? Right? And there's 3 ways of being in your who am I. Are you pretending to be somebody? So that's like, you look at people and they're super snobby. They're like in this air of don't talk to me, don't look at me. They're pretending to be.
That's pain, though.
Because I am 1,000% sure that they would love a hug over people being away from them, because they're just so snobby, right? So it's who you have mentalized to be, who you think you are, and who you're pretending to be, versus who you are and who you want to be from your soul. Right? So the person you want to be from your soul is free, generous, power, light, success. That's who do you really want to be? You know, I want to run free in the air and I want to climb a mountain and I just want to live joyous and not have any troubles and any dramas. that's who your heart wants to be. But if you're pretending to be, you want to be super loving, super generous, super joyous, and you just want to just hug people and have a lot of friends, but then you show up to a networking event and you're like super snobby. You don't look at people in the eyes. You don't hug people. You're like, hi, nice to meet you. So you're pretending to be somebody else versus who you really want to be, right? And so how do you see yourself? Are you pretending to be strong and powerful, but you really want a big fat hug? Are you pretending to be the other way? You're pretending to be super loving, super generous, super religious, but then you go home and you're like, that stupid bee.
Oh, I just saw this person and she was
just saw that, and all you do is just gossip in front of people. In back of people, but in front of people, you're, hola, ¿cómo estás? Ay, qué gusto verte. Y luego nomás estás chingando la madre en la casa.
And why do you think they do that? That's
because
pain.
They're pretending to be.
And it's pain.
Because
both
they're
of them
not.
Are pain.
Both of them are a piece of shit. But they're not aligned. Yes. It talks about what they're really suffering on the inside.
Okay, so that first course digs into that so that they have some clarity on like, wait, I am pretending to be this.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And then the next principle is story of my life.
Yeah. So the story of your life is super important. Where do you come from? Who were your parents or your caretakers? Where were you living? What was that like? How did it taste? What did you eat? Was there a lot of money or no money? Was there enough food or a lack of food? How were you treated? How did you see yourself? Who were the protagonists in your life? What was the story of your life? Period. Without any red tape, without no hiding it, no embarrassing, just cold, raw. My dad would beat up my mom, and then he wouldn't show up to the house for 3 days, and then he would show up, and then he would beat her up again. Those are the kind of stories I've heard.
Or the opposite.
Or my mom would beat up my dad. Or, I came into the room one time and my dad was tied up. You never know. And then I'm like, was that essential kind or like a bad kind?
Traumatized. Or it could be, maybe they had all these luxury items or whatever, but they never really saw their parents. So they were always just
super sad.
There's always these things that you don't know. Like I know when I took this, I know the thing that popped up was I didn't realize that I had my mom had never really seen me. She had an idea of who she wanted me to be, and that's all she would see. And it's just, it is nothing now that I look back and I think it's her fault, or it's just, it was what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she just thought oh my God, just stay quiet. You're super pretty. Put your makeup on. Oh my God, are you gaining weight? Everything was about my looks because that's how I was going to get a rich husband.
But that was a story of her life, not your life.
That was the story.
But that was an impact on your life.
And it was a massive impact because that's all that mattered.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's super, these things that you learn through clarity, really, you're able to identify some of the things that you have maybe insecurities or whatever, and you start to look at other people thinking they must be thinking that. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's just an insecurity that you have
1000%
from the unfortunate thing of your parents limited with how they could parent you, right?
1000%.
So my inner child is the next principle.
So who were you as an inner child, and what were the needs of that child when you were between 6 and 12 years old? What did you want? What did you crave? What did you have? What did you have in excess? What did you not have? So it's about learning who that little girl or who that little boy was.
Yeah, it's going in deep to that age. And you cut them up in the program from 6 to 12 and then 13 to 18, because we have those milestones in our life
of what happens in your life.
Of love, and it hugely impacts who you are as an adult. And then the next principle is ego versus heart.
Ooh, one of my favorite topics.
We did a whole podcast on that.
Yeah.
And we'll put it in the show notes.
So ego versus heart is, oh, I'm the victim. Oh, people hate me. Oh, people envy me. Oh, people are always talking about me. Versus I am light. I am love. I am peace. I am empowerment. I am always in constant communication with the people I love. I live joyous. I love those around me. So it's what is your ego feeding you? Like, is your ego feeding you a story that the world is against you, and therefore you have to always be on the defensive mode because people are always out to get you? Or when situations happen, because shit happens, then you take it from a perspective of, it has nothing to do with me. It's a part of my life, and I'm going to make a decision based on love, not to mess anybody up, but to solve my situation, right? And just make it right. And so it's really evaluating, and we have an entire survey, which I can't tell you now because it's too long, but join the course, of how you evaluate yourself on ego versus love.
And the beautiful thing is that like, we really want you to take the intensive with you. Like, we want people to take the intensive with you because they get you, right? But there's also an opportunity that they can get these principles in itself. So the next principle, ego versus heart, also is a really big and deep one, because most of us walk around with an ego, and it's like a protective mechanism that we don't even know that we're doing. And like, we're always pointing a finger at maybe it's not all the time, at something, and once you do this, you're like, that was my ego, like, or I got frustrated. If you get frustrated, it's ego. In anything, in the car, with somebody, if somebody's talking, or you see somebody having a conversation on the side and you like roll your eyes because you're like, oh my God, whatever. Like, what does that matter to you? And you realize, like, because I'll find myself and I'm like, whoa, that's my ego. Hold up, wait a minute, because of this awesome program. Okay, so the next one is what I want, but I don't believe it.
Yeah, so everybody knows what they want. The thing is that they're afraid to talk about what they want, and they're afraid to own what they want, and they're embarrassed and they're ashamed, and they don't feel they can tackle it, and they don't feel they deserve it. And so in this course, we go into, just tell me straight up what you want. Like, if you want $100, you want $100,000, you want $1 million, you want 10 million, 1 billion, 100 billion. ¿Qué quieres? ¿Qué quieres? ¿Para qué lo quieres? ¿Cómo lo quieres? ¿Y cuándo lo quieres?
And if you can visualize it.
And if you visualize it, if you believe it, si lo crees, lo creas, right? And so just put a name on it. Like, oh, I want to be able to be, be successful on the strip pole. I thought that came out of nowhere. Hey, but let me tell you. No. Like, you know how difficult it is to dance. I don't want to do it publicly. I want to do it for my king. But listen,
I can already see the pole coming down.
I've tried that, and it's like, this is the pole, and I'm like, ping pong. Like, I'm like trying super hard, and then it's like, I'm like not even lifted like 3 inches above the ground. I already fell.
You're like, how did J-Lo do it?
Exactly, like in that movie. Oh my God! In the movie Hustle. I know, I've tried. I've been to classes. ¿Qué te pasa? But I was recommended to go to the gym a couple of years and then come back. But
that's how hard it is?
It's super hard.
Wow,
you need a lot of body strength. So to me, like, one of my goals is like, after I have baby 3 and 4 out into the globe, I want to be like super fit, super dedicated to my discipline. I want to eat super healthy, and then I want to be like on the pole. Yeah, but for my husband. But that's just gonna give me like, oh my God, I've worked out so much. I've eaten so healthy. I've kept my discipline.
It's an awesome goal,
like
though.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Promise me you're gonna do a gold pole.
No, pink. Oh, different poles. Oh yeah, not in the kitchen. Ya sabrás. In the restroom, in the home, in the garage. The nannies, super. The staff having fun on the poles. No. But the thing is that, like, what is your goal? Like, nothing is impossible. Another one of my goals, for reals of the eels, I want to climb the Alps. I want to climb the Swiss Alps. Yeah, I don't even walk like for a mile, but it's something I want to do. I'm only 36 years
You're
old.
A baby.
Every single day, I am conquering the best version of yourself.
I'm going.
I'll invite you.
I'm going.
Every day, you're conquering the best version of yourself, and I'm not now what I'm gonna be tomorrow, and I'm not tomorrow what I'm gonna be next year. And so, my goal is to climb the Alps, right? However. Wow. I'm not working out for that right now, but it doesn't mean I can't do it or conquer when I'm 40, 45, 50.
It's never too late.
Yeah, or 70, whatever it is. Pero que voy a llegar a
You need to do it by the time you're 50, though. That way I can get it done.
I assure you that I will at least come to the bottom ground of the Alps.
For for sure you're going to get to the Alps and at least you're going to look at it.
Right there and take a picture.
Hey, still. Okay, so the next principle is, who do I want to be? And I want you to see that there's a pattern here. You have to start
from the bottom.
You have to start from the first one.
The inside. Like, yeah, who do you want to be? Like, how do you see yourself? Do you want to be a boss, a powerful woman, successful, but just have, whatever you attained for yourself? Or do you want to share your resources? Do you be loving and kind? Or do you want to be more closed circuit, more into your space, more alone? Like, I've seen people regress from being extremely social and extremely powerful, regressing to being alone, monk style, super zen. And that's okay. But put a name to it. What do you want? Right?
Yeah. I mean, who I was before and I am today is way different, but I'm constantly assessing, like, who do I want to be?
But that's okay.
And that's
as long as you know who you want to be.
And yes, it's about me being fulfilled so I can be impactful to the people around me.
Correcto mundo.
And it really does matter.
Yeah.
Best version of myself.
Yes. Okay, so that's where you put the bow on the gift.
Yes.
Who is the best version of yourself? How does she wake up? How does she think?
Yes.
How does she communicate?
How does she look?
What books does she read? What does she hear? What kind of friends does she have? How does she treat her husband? How does she educate her kids?
Is she having?
How does she dress? What does she want? What bags does she wear? What jewels does she wear? What does she eat?
Where is she traveling to?
Todo.
All the things. And I love this one. I love it so much. I do this often. So I'll write in my journal like my vision of success. And it's okay if it changes because things happen, right? But it's so important to constantly be going back, like,
it's something you
who
have to
is she?
constantly
What does she
be
look
doing.
like?
You don't stop becoming the best version of yourself until the last day you're on this planet. Period. The end. Dropping the mic.
Tell it for the people in the back. Tell it for the people in the back.
You are working on the best version of yourself until the last day that you're on this planet. Period. The end. If you're 21, if you're 11 years old, if you're 40, if you're 50, if you're 60, if you're 70, if you're 80, if you're 90, thank God if you're over 100, you can become the best version of yourself. So as long as you're alive, you can talk, you can think, you can walk. And if you can't walk and if you can't talk, you can do sign language and you can be, in mobile from wherever you at. The point is just pushing forward to the best version of yourself, because every single thing is a lesson in life.
And to wrap all this up, which is a very important principle in this whole program of clarity, this whole journey of clarity, is the contract to yourself. If you don't write it,
what are
it
you
doesn't
committed
exist.
To yourself?
If you don't sign a contract that says, this is the person that I want to show up to be every single day, this is what I want to work for.
Nobody else is going to do it for you.
No one's going to do it for you.
So join Clarity Intensives with me. I do them every other month.
You do.
You do masterminds with me. You have private WhatsApp groups with me. And you do your homework.
You have access to P 24/7.
I review it for you and give you feedback. Legit. And or if not, you can take these principles module by module. Yep. They're already pre-recorded with amazing workbooks, like
intense workbooks.
Yeah. Get ready to dig in. Or you can buy the 8 modules and take them at your pace, in your casa, in your office, wherever you want. The point is to open up your mind to different perspectives. And I have a purpose. I have a purpose to enlighten acts of kindness around the world. And I figured out that by giving away, I've given away, thank God's, by my hands, I want to say in my life, at least $10 million that I have been graced to give away to others, right? And I wanted to give and give and give and give and give. But people would say, Perla, how do we get the resources? Perla, how do I gain the skills? Perla. And that made me get into a heart, mind, money mindset, something that is teachable for others, for other people in the school districts, in the government, and in the companies, worldwide. And every day of my life until the day that I'm no longer in this planet, I'm going to be teaching heart, mind, money method. Be real, be honest, be raw, be dedicated, be disciplined, responsible, but more than anything, humble, kind, and respectful. Absolutely. And you will have the life of your dreams.
Absolutely. And I want to tie this back to how we started this. When we were at the UN, that was the big thing. Like, if you take a course like this, you're able to realize why you're not stepping up. You're able to realize why you're not grabbing that resource. You're able to realize why you're not asking for that position in the C-suite. And without this, you're going to continue to think that it's like unreachable.
Yeah.
Or that it's not yours. And it is.
And everything is possible.
Everything is possible. The life that you want is possible. P, thank you for this.
Thank you.
This is super exciting. And you know what the exciting part is? That I get to see the transformations that you...
Well, you get to see it every day.
I get to see it every day. Like, and it's just the beginning.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful. And you're always welcome. And if you have any questions...
Síganme, Reflexiona con Perla, las redes sociales, thelatinaempire.com.
Yes.
Únanse a no cierto, @ The Latina Empire at The Latina Empire in social media.
Yeah.
Our website is thelatinaempire.com. Share. Repost us. Chiquilla, te quiero mucho. Donde sea que me estés escuchando. G Squeezer. Or no. No! Oh my God!
Oh my
G
Lord.
the juicer.
I mean, it's
G
been a
the
while,
juice
but
squeezer.
okay.
G the juice squeezer. What is that? No! The juice extractor. Ay, chingado. Cut!
But I'll take it. Let's gosh. Your what is it?
The G squeezer. Chingado G. La G powers.
I mean, my husband would love it.
G powers. The G powers.
Bye, guys. See you on the next one. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Heart, Mind, and Money podcast with Perla, the awesome Perla.
Thank you.
Yes, I want everybody to look into thelatinaempire.com. Look more into what this whole mission is. Also, on all our social medias is at The Latina Empire. At The Latina Empire. And to connect with Perla, who answers every single comment, message. We'll
Anything.
send you a voice message. We'll ask you to send her your WhatsApp. She will answer anything, any problem, any advice. I mean, you're pretty remarkable at that. And you can find Perla on Instagram at Reflexiona
con Perla.
Reflexiona con Perla. But we are all across social media, and Perla is always, every single day, pouring into you through all social platforms at The Latina Empire. And we also have our community at the Mana Lounge that you can find more information at any of the links on any of our social medias. And we would love to have you as one of our manas.
We've got to keep learning.
We got to keep learning. We got to keep healing our heart.
Healing your heart.
Challenging our minds.
Challenge your mind to fill your pockets.
To fill your pockets. Thank you guys for having us.